I always like a good military story. Thursday, June 17th, 2008, San Diego Union Tribune. Military's policy stays unchanged, article by Steve Luer. Don't ask, don't tell doesn't allow nuptials. At 7 a.m. today, former Marine Bob Lemon and Tom Faulkner will be among the first gay couples to exchange vows at the downtown county building, cementing their 15-year relationship with the bonds of marriage. Tonight they'll dance and eat wedding cake at a club in Hillcrest with hundreds of friends and family members. Among the guests will be an active-duty Navy corpsman and Iraq War veteran, whom Lemon and Faulkner consider a close friend. There's little chance the corpsman will marry his partner, who also is in the military, anytime soon because of the government's policy barring gay and lesbian service members from serving openly. For now, don't ask, don't tell trumps I do. It's inevitably going to change, but is it going to take years or decades, said the corpsman, who asked not to be named because the Navy would be obligated to dismiss him. He hopes to retire in 5 years when he reaches his 2-decade career milestone with the service. California and Massachusetts are the only states to have legalized same-sex marriage. Unlike Massachusetts, California is home to a major concentration of military bases. San Diego County is home to the nation's largest active-duty force, at least 70,000 sailors and 46,000 Marines, plus thousands of soldiers from the National Guard and Reserves. The California Supreme Court's decision last month to allow same-sex marriage collides with the 1993 federal statute governing homosexuality in military service. Congress crafted that law in the early days of President Clinton's administration as a compromise between the Pentagon, which had criminalized homosexuality, and Clinton, who had vowed to do away with the ban. The statute led to the don't ask, don't tell policy that bars the armed forces from asking about sexual orientation, but also bans service members from publicly stating their homosexuality, engaging in homosexual acts, and trying to marry someone of the same gender. More than 12,000 gay service members have been dismissed since 1983, typically with honorable discharges. According to figures compiled by the Service Members Legal Defense Network, a national group that opposes the ban. Before Don't Ask, Don't Tell, gay service members often were jailed and routinely lost benefits because of their dishonorable discharges. This is setting up a train wreck for a lot of gays and lesbians whose world sees them as equal, and yet the military and the Congress won't recognize them, said Nathaniel Frank, a senior research fellow for the Palm Center at the University of California, Santa Barbara. He also blogs in support of gay rights for the Huffington Post. Elaine Donnelly, president of the Center for Military Readiness in Livonia, Michigan, opposes the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy for a different reason. Donnelly said she believes the military's outright exclusion of gays, which first became official in 1943, should be reinstituted. If the military is required to embrace gays, there will be a significant impact on cohesion and morale, Donnelly said. Pentagon officials said they have no plans to track down gay service members who marry in California, though it would be easy to find them using public records. The new law... I got a story that some guy, he went on vacation, he got married again, he came back, and they're like, hey man, what are you doing? Let's see, the new law doesn't change our policy, said Cynthia O. Smith, a spokeswoman for the Department of Defense. The policy is don't ask, don't tell. We don't ask. In 2006, a survey of 545 Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans found that 37% wanted to keep the military's ban on gays, while 26% felt the opposite way. 32% said they were neutral, and 5% had no opinion, said the survey, which was crafted by the Palm Center and administered by Zogby International, a nonpartisan polling firm. So 37% wanted to keep the ban, 26% wanted to lift it. Of those who had served with a gay person, nearly 2/3 said homosexuality had no effect on the morale or unit's morale. Lemon, 43, finds it hard to believe his presence would have harmed the field artillery unit he served in during the Persian Gulf War, a highlight of his 10-year Marine career. Artillery. Nickname for artillery is cannon cockers. Nobody in my unit knew artillery better than I did, including the officers, he said. Fresh out of high school, he followed 2 brothers into the military in 1983. I didn't know I was gay, but I knew I was different, Lemon said. He came to terms with his sexuality in 1987, shortly after re-enlisting for 6 years. Lemon said he never suffered harassment, but he became an expert at the double life required of gay service members. The evasions about off-duty time, the she substituted for he in the telling of stories about his significant other, the self-censorship and letters that might be read or phone calls that might be overheard, the social life focused far away from the base. You know, I kind of did something similar, but it wasn't because I was gay. I mean, I'm straight, but it's like, I just got fed up with how the military just wanted so much, like, intrusive into my personal life all the time. Like, I couldn't get away from work, was my complaint about it. Marines don't lie, cheat, or steal, Lemon said. It was hard to lie. Lemon's unit deployed in Saudi Arabia in 1990 for the Gulf War. He didn't know anybody there who was gay, and his gay friends back home stuck to pleasantries in their letters to him. Lemon, then a platoon sergeant, focused on preparing his men for battle. During combat, the gay thing didn't even exist, he said. My biggest fear was bringing my guys home alive. For his final job in the Marine Corps, Lemon served a tour as a recruiter in Chicago. He had to ask questions to screen out people who might be gay. While in Chicago, he met Faulkner, a marketing executive who had never served in the military, but had plenty in common with Lemon. They were both the same age, came from devout Christian families, and had moved to big cities from small-town Indiana. In 1997, Faulkner moved with Lemon to San Diego, a city the veteran had grown to love during his years at Camp Pendleton. Their future friend, the corpsman, joined the Navy about the same time Lemon left the Marines. The corpsman planned to serve for 4 years and then study to become a nurse. He didn't know he was gay when he enlisted. The corpsman said he realized his sexual orientation 6 years ago. There was a lot of denial and depression because of the inability to be out openly. The fear that I might get fired, he said. The corpsman has gay friends in the military, but he is constantly on guard. I filter. If I'm on a government email, I'm having to watch what I say, he said. It's draining, keeping up with your lies. Last year, the corpsman deployed to Iraq with the Camp Pendleton base unit. He didn't come out to any of the Marines. His sexuality was never an issue. Seriously, it was the least of my worries, he said. It was just coming home alive. The corpsman made it home safely this year. His family lived too far away to attend the homecoming at Camp Pendleton, and no gay friends dared to meet him there. It hurt when we came to the parade ground and I heard all the families. I cried. I was jealous, the corpsman said. Today he will vicariously share in the happiness of Lemon and Faulkner's wedding. The couple, who live in Bankers Hill, are unofficial counselors to many gay sailors and Marines in Southern California. They organize welcome home events for gay service members whose partners can't greet them at military bases. They also co-founded the Stonewall Citizens Patrol, a neighborhood watch group formed after hate attacks on 6 gay men in Balboa Park 2 years ago. In San Diego, there's a lot of active-duty gays that live out in town fairly openly, Lemon said. Lemon said he wouldn't be surprised to see a brazen sailor or Marine at the courthouse today to exchange vows. Most of them are younger. They're fearless, Lemon said. They may decide, this is my life. It's more important than my job. Little history. Gays in the military. March 11th, 1778. In military's first known gay-related dismissal, Lieutenant Gotthold Ensslin is court-martialed on a sodomy charge and dismissed from the Continental Army. 1943. First formal rules are established to exclude homosexuals from the military. 1993. Congress and the military opposed President Clinton's bid to rescind ban on gay service members. As a compromise, he adopts the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. 2001. Annual dismissals under Don't Ask, Don't Tell peak at 1,273. May and June 2008. 2 court cases challenging military's policy on homosexuality offer mixed outcomes. The first U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Boston upholds the ban, while the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco says the Air Force cannot dismiss a service member before proving that person's sexual orientation actually harmed his or her unit. So